Like, she knows there's this milkman thing going around.
Yeah,
she's
why
like,
she
let me have 5 children. Okay, everyone.
Welcome to Book Club. My name is Lamasha.
And I'm Squizzy.
And today we're talking about the last bit of Tender Beast by LaSalle Sandberry.
Yes, we're talking about chapters 31 through 36 plus the epilogue. And for chapter 31, I have it labeled, the family is convinced, not more like the family is convinced they're crazy, but Sunny is convinced that her family is crazy. It has been like all these years.
I'm like, she was thinking like I've been thinking like that, like this is some mass delusion of the cult.
Yeah.
You know, I was uncertain whether this was supernatural or whether this was like a cult mass hysteria, and Sunny seems to believe that like it's mass hysteria of her family.
Yeah, and the siblings have been working together to stop Sunny's investigation, but she wasn't doing that great anyway.
Right,
so.
They were like, you weren't getting anywhere, so...
I kind of like that in this book. It's like, yeah, these children are not detectives. Because like in other books, kids are like finding out all this kind of stuff. They're like breaking into all these places, and I'm like, this just doesn't seem realistic. The fact that she wasn't able to get any information.
Right. And the last few chapters, she was just like, we'll investigate Mac Jr. some more, just because that was like all she had to go off of.
She was like, I don't know who else it could be.
Except her dad, which she didn't want to believe. Like, she doesn't want to believe her dad is murdering people, so she's like...
Yeah, and she doesn't want to think Dom is doing it because, like, her family is saying Dom is the milkman, and we have to soothe him. We have to give him this milk, or we have to kill people for him. And I'm just like looking at him the same way Sunny is. She's like, oh my God.
Yeah, so that is the thing. Like, Kylie and Darren are both saying that Carter has told them that Dom has this creature inside of him that, like, he's not even aware that he's killing, but like that this creature is killing. And like,
and Sunny is like, y'all are just believing this? Y'all haven't asked any questions? And they're like, you're right. Maybe we should ask some more questions. Yeah. But yeah, Sunny and the Middles are caught sneaking into the school because their dad and Carter have drugged Dom and taken him off to that room we talked about in previous videos that's hidden inside the school. And she's like, no, we got to go get our brother. And they're like, okay. But they're caught sneaking in, and Carter's like, God, I know y'all are there. Y'all are idiots. What are y'all doing here?
Yeah, and Carter has a knife and everything. So
and they have a senior girl tied up, and Sunny's like, what are you doing?
Yeah. So at this point, it's like pretty glaring that Carter and the dad are
the killers.
Yeah, they are the killers, or that's what it seems like.
Yeah, all the students of the school, and.
Oh, and so part of the ritual, part of why they have Dom tied up is because like they have to feed him milk mixed with blood,
fresh blood. So they're trying to get a fresh kill,
the milkman or whatever,
and
that they think resides within Dom.
That's pretty much what we get from chapter 31. And in chapter 32, I labeled it as might be mass hysteria. Mass hysteria from the farm passed along to Ainsley, who saw all of these murders, and poor Jay, who had to watch his whole family pretty much get killed, and then his brother turned out to be the killer of his family. So I was like, it would be pretty easy to convince them that something crazy is happening.
Yeah, it's like Sonya thinks it's trauma that's just passed down through the family. Like her mom and the dad were both traumatized from this event, and now they're like deranged and passing it on to their kids. Like that's sort of what Sunny is thinking. She's like, my whole family is crazy.
Yeah, and I was like, who wants this legacy of blood and rituals, and it might not even be real? Because I was like, Carter, she just read this journal, and she's like, I have to kill these people. And I'm like, who just thinks that?
Right.
And Jeremy could have easily killed Tori with Dom covering for him. Then crazy Carter did everything else, is what I was thinking at this point. I was like, Jeremy's the killer. I was just about off base as Sunny.
I was like, at this point, I was kind of not wanting to believe the supernatural bit, so I was like with Sunny with like this is mass hysteria.
I was like, it really makes it feel like there's nothing wrong with Dom, but there's definitely something wrong with Carter and Jane.
Yeah,
because I was like, how can they so willingly do this?
And at this point, Darren and Kylie are also looking at Carter and their dad like, what's wrong with y'all? Darren is over there making slick comments. He's like, so what is that about all these bodies? Like, like, did you guys...
They're like, if Dom's the killer that y'all have to like protect, then why are y'all killing people?
Yeah.
It's like, it's not adding up. So they were fully on Sonny's side at this point. They're like, yeah, we have to save Dom. We have to save this girl whose throat you're about to slit. But yeah, and then, oh my goodness. But then during this ritual that they're doing at the school, chapter 33, Sonny manages to untie Dom, and he hears the last end of what his parents and his dad and older sister are saying. They all witness this girl's throat being slit, and they're all trying to run out of there. And Carter, she raises the knife at Sonny, the knife that she has, and Sonny thinks that she's about to die, and Jay thinks that Carter is about to maybe kill or harm Sonny in some way, so he tackles her. I hate the way she went out.
Yeah, me too.
And like the knife ends up slitting her leg, and she bleeds to death.
Yeah,
I guess.
I also like you can't like just smooth it past like that. Yes, Carter did like slit this girl's throat in front of everybody. Like,
Yeah,
she hacked like this other girl that was tied on the slab next to Dom. Like Carter hacked her throat and like she died. So now Sonny and the Middles are like, oh my god, and like Darren threw up. So like Carter is like all in with this, so they all run away, and like Carter she says she tries to scare Sonny, like she wasn't actually trying to hurt her is what she said. She was just going to scare Sonny. So
and she was like, even though I was jealous that you were mom's favorite, I loved you a lot too. She's like, I would never have hurt you.
Yeah, so like,
how was she supposed to know that? She just saw her slit a girl's throat.
Right. Yeah, so when she was swinging at Sonny, her dad pushed Carter out of the way, and it slit her thigh, and she bled to death. Which did happen like really fast, in my opinion.
Yeah, like we didn't have time to like, I don't know, we didn't have time to sit with it. It was just like this really bad accident that happened, and I was like, okay. And but before Carter died, she did talk about how she would feel this pressure on her back.
Mm-hmm. Pressure on her back.
It reminds me of the southern hand around your back. Got a
hand
hand around your back.
I feel like this was also sort of like a
allegory.
Yeah, for like
metaphor.
For like the pressure that like Black people feel, or like when it comes to like,
or even that an older sister would feel.
Yeah,
to take care of her family after, cause like that's what Ainsley was feeling toward the end of her journal. Mm-hmm. She was like leaving the facility, and she's like her whole family is dead pretty much, and she's got this pressure on her back now, and she's got this pressure to do well because she has to go to college. She has to better herself because otherwise she's like just stuck on this farm all the time.
Yep. And for like people like Dom and Jeremy, like Sonny was thinking about how like people already expect them to be a certain way. They expect them to be bad people. So like this thing resides in like dwells in them and resides in them because like it's what people expect. So of course it will come out at some point.
And Sonny starts feeling that, but the doctors that she's been going to, they say that it's just the back injury from when she fell down the stairs when her sister was chasing her. And now it's just Sonny, Sonny, Kylie, and Dom and Darren Love taking care of each other. While their dad, he's in jail. He's been locked up for the murders of all those high school kids. Mm-hmm. And the school has been taken from them.
So Carter admitted to all of the deaths except Tori's death. She says Dom killed Tori, and the dad takes the blame for Tori's death.
Yeah, so that Dom doesn't go to jail. And
also something we should mention, like everybody had received a post-it note telling them to take care of Dom.
Yeah, and he was like the family calf, so pretty much the person that the milkman would reside in. That's why they were supposed to take care of him, but also not get too close to him. Mm-hmm. But I also noted at the end of this, like, them losing the school and losing the accolades that they gathered in the community, I was like, the irony is that they wouldn't have lost the school if they hadn't been sacrificing people. Like, they're sacrificing people in order to have the things that they have, but like if they just took care of the things that they have.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so it's sort of like a metaphor of like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah. Also, it's like they prioritized like money and like riches and stuff over like the actual well-being of their family.
Yeah.
Like they're like putting their family through all of this these sacrifices and stuff. But what if like you're just poor and you like just enjoy being with each other? Like you don't have to like murder all these people to like get status or whatever.
Yeah.
Sunny says like they tried to think of it, her mom and dad tried to think of it from the perspective of what they wanted, but they should think of it from the perspective of a monster, which the milkman is. So like even if they're like trying to satisfy him, like he'll never be satisfied.
Yeah.
Like he's just playing with him at this point. Like the way Carter died, like the dad thinks that the milkman was behind it because she happened to cut herself in just the way that she would die because she didn't like sacrifice at the exact right moment.
Yeah, but like that could have easily been coincidence. That, you know, how a crazy person can easily link, I don't know if I want to use the word crazy, but like a person that has paranoia and delusions can easily link a real life event to something supernatural and like apply it to something supernatural, because I know there's stories of people who have schizophrenia and they'll link something that actually happens. Like there was this woman who's like, there's a tree growing out of my stomach. And it turns out that she actually had stomach cancer. So there was something growing in her stomach, but it wasn't a supernatural tree or anything like that.
Yeah.
It was something that they felt that was real.
Yeah, Sunny thought that like her parents were like putting the responsibility of like things that they had done, like just so they wouldn't have to feel the responsibility, like they were shifting it onto this supernatural being. And I do think there was some element of that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, and chapter 34, Dad's in jail. Sunny is running things like her mom intended, I guess. Sunny very much believes that her family is crazy and that the journals are full of her mom's mental ramblings. The kids could easily have maimed animals due to pyrosuggestion. Because, you know, if you expect your kids to do bad things, they will do bad things. Or like if you constantly asking your kids, like, have you been doing anything weird lately? Have you been cutting like the tongues out of frogs? And like you plant that idea in your kid's head. So that's what I was thinking, like maybe she planted these thoughts in her kid's head. Sunny ends up hiring a financial advisor, and I'm like, why didn't they just hire one before? Because like they're running all these things, and it doesn't seem like Jay's particularly good at it. Why didn't he get a financial advisor after Ainsley died if she was the one who was taking care of that aspect? Like I feel like they were leaning so much on this monster that they didn't take responsibility for themselves. And I felt like they ruined their own family by killing people. Like even if there was a monster involved, they also did this.
Yeah, and that have, like it's a choice. You didn't have to like follow the milkman. You really did not.
Chapter 35, I labeled it.
Oh, I was also gonna say like the fact that they started pouring this milk, this bloody milk down their kid's throat. That's what started in the first place. Like, you know, like at the farm,
like all these kids. And I was starting to think, like, what if it was a virus that was in the cow's blood, you know? And they accidentally gave, you know how there's so many different like brain viruses that you can get that'll completely make you delusional, act like sometimes like completely eat away parts of your brain so you don't even behave like a human anymore. So I was thinking, what if this is something that they've just like passed around the farm and now they're keeping this nasty and not something supernatural, but you know, who knows? Chapter 35, I labeled it, We Aren't Beasts Anymore. The family lies to cover for Dom stabbing them. Dom! Sunny is returning from celebrating with what's her name?
Cheyenne and Mercy.
Yeah, it wasn't her birthday.
It was Mercy's birthday, I think. Either Cheyenne or Mercy's birthday.
It was somebody's birthday.
It was Mercy's birthday, I think.
And she's like driving home. It's the witching hour.
Yeah, it's the day that Tori died, her mom died. So yeah, it's that year anniversary.
And the hour. And she's like 10 minutes late getting back to the farm, and she's like, she gets a call from, is it Kylie? And she can't find Darren. And then she's like, oh, never mind. Dom or whoever is like waving at me from the barn. It's all good. She hangs up, and Sunny starts feeling this pressure on her back again. And she gets to the farm and she hears like screams, and she goes to the barn. Kylie and Darren, covered in stab wounds, knife next to them, blood all over the floor. Dom crouched in the corner.
Yeah.
But I'm dead. And she's like, I'll take care of him. He's a good boy. But she starts getting these suggestions in her mind of what she can do to like cover up what he's done.
Yeah.
Like she can blame it on Mac Jr. who lives nearby. She can feed him the milk as
her dad, like continue the ritual that her dad and her mom were doing.
But like as she's sitting there agonizing over what to do, trying to get this voice out of her mind telling her to blame this murder on somebody else, Darren shows signs of life. Because Dom has been taking these anatomy classes, and that's one thing that makes me feel like, I mean, we get epilogue, but like it made me feel like this isn't supernatural, it's like mental, because he's been taking these anatomy classes and he knew exactly where to stab them that they wouldn't die.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, but they're in the hospital, and the detective?
Detective Chambers shows up. This is the detective that showed up during Thanksgiving when Jay was like, go away. And yeah, she's like, so what happened? And they were like,
it was somebody wearing a mask. Yeah. We don't know who it was.
She was like, that's suspicious.
That's weird. But, and I was sitting there like, I mean, I know he's your brother.
Right, like that's OTT. Like you're still like
he's stabbed y'all like a pincushion.
Like
monster or not.
I don't know if I would have been able to.
I would have been yapping away.
I would have been like, bye, Dom. Sorry.
I would have been a.
And like, also she was like, she realized that taking care of Dom didn't necessarily mean continuing to feed him milk. It could also have meant just take him out, like kill him if need be. And that's why. And she realized that's probably why her mom kept him at arm's length. Like she didn't want to care about somebody that was being raised for either slaughter or
Yeah. And it's crazy that she expected Sonny to do it.
Right? Like you didn't do it, but you want
me to do it. But Sonny decides that at this moment she sees like, despite the attempted murder, Dom, Darren, Kylie, Sonny, they're closer than ever, honestly. And we get to the epilogue, and they've pretty much lost everything. The farm, they've got one house left. They used to have 3.
I would honestly start questioning, like, maybe should we start playing the milkman's game again? I don't know.
But yeah, they've got Dom tied up in their living room, and she's purchased a book on rituals or spellcraft or something, and so it seems they're trying to get this demon out of Dom's body.
They're trying to exorcise the milkman from Dom's body.
Yes. And I was like, oh, it was supernatural after all. But also, if it isn't, if he's still just, crazy, if this is all still a mass illusion of the family, because it easily could be. Them losing everything, they think it's bad luck. They think it's bad luck because he didn't do what the milkman said, but it could easily be the stress.
Yeah, and they're distracted.
Like somebody could kill you at any moment.
Of course you're not taking care of the ranch.
Of course you're not going to take care of yourself. Of course you're not going to be able to keep going to school. You're not going to be able to hold down a job. It could easily just be a self-fulfilling prophecy of a poor situation keeping you down.
But apparently there was some barrier that stopped Dom from leaving the circle. So I don't know.
Could still be mass illusion though. But yeah, so they weren't able to get the demon or milkman out of his body, but they were able to protect him in a circle, so he's not able to get to them, and he's not able to get out and kill anybody else, and they're going to keep trying. Yeah,
they're going to keep working at getting the milkman out of him, and so they're not doing what the milkman wants, and they're not giving up on Dom either.
Yeah, so they're walking at balance at the moment, and she says that they're not beasts anymore or something like that, and I was like, ooh, child, a black family not being beasts anymore, I don't know. But
so that was the end of the book.
Yeah.
All right, and after this we'll talk about our feelings of, so now that we've read the whole thing, we'll talk about how we felt about it and all of that.
Oh, I had a few more comments to make, like conclusions. Like, I would have been pissed to be born into a demon-possessed family. Their mom should not have had kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she knows there's this milkman thing going around.
Yeah,
and she's
why
like,
she
let me have 5 children. She basically ruined all their lives, but you know, whatever. All right, thanks for watching.
Like, comment, subscribe. And for any other suggestions of how you felt about the book, comment down below.